morning and welcome to English Lessons on Iman TV. We're going to start our lesson with grammar and end with grammar. Actually, today's lesson is all grammar. We start with irregular verbs. Then we're going to do some editing exercise. I give you a paragraph with mistakes with verb tense, and I want you to detect or find the mistake and fix it. Okay? And then we have WH questions exercise. And then at the end, if we have time, we will do review of some prepositions that we studied before. Okay? And then, of course, we end with those words that I present at the beginning. So let's start with the irregular verb. Remember, when we talk about regular, irregular, regular verbs are those verbs that when you make them past, you add D or ED. Most of English words are regular. For those, the spelling is very consistent. You put D or ED. So like comb, combed, or mow, mowed, or talk, talked, finished, finished, ended, ended, and boarded, boarded, reported, reported, or added, added. The only thing I want to add, and you have heard this from me before, that this ed that you add to a verb, this ed has three different types of pronunciation. For some verbs, when you put ed changes to d, like combed. Okay, you just pronounce it d, like climbed, or mowed, or seemed. This is because of the last letter, which I explained a long time ago. And that means what? If the last letter is a voice sound, means you feel vibration here, like b. So combed. So the ed becomes a d. Or climb, climbed, climbed. Or seem, seemed. So is what? A voice sound. So when you put ed, it also becomes d of voice sounds. If it ends with a voiceless sound, what like k, like f, like other sounds like sh, that they are not voiced, you don't feel vibration here, then the ed is pronounced like a t. So here, talk becomes talked. So ed is pronounced as t. Help, helped. Finish, finished. Laugh, laughed. I'd explained this before, so I'm not going to go over it a lot. End with, if a word ends with D or T, ed makes it id, like ended, boarded, reported, and added. The irregular verbs do not take ed, as I explained before, and they come in four different varieties. Some of them like drive, drove, driven. All three forms are different. Others like bring, brought, brought. The last two forms are the same. Others like cut, cut, cut. All three forms are what? Different. The same. And then the fourth type is when the first and last form is the same. Like come, came, come. And that's why I've been teaching you every week 10 new irregular verbs so that we chunk this a lot of words into 10 manageable chunks or groups, so that you can remember it. Remember the pronunciation and remember how to write it when you need to write it. You need to spell it correctly. So here are some new words. Please repeat after me together. Strike, swear, sweep, swim, take, teach, tear, tell, think, throw. So of course you need to know the meaning first before you know how to spell it or how to say it. So strike as a simple meaning. Strike means hit. You strike something, you hit it. Okay? Swear means when you insist that you're telling the truth, you swear. Okay? So sometimes people swear if they're very, very sure that they're right. They swear, I swear, by my mother's grave or my God's name that what I'm right. Swear. You go to a court, you put your hand on a holy book. You swear that you're telling the truth, nothing but the truth. That's swear. And Afghanistan courts, they usually have the Holy Quran or something. They put their hands on it and say, what? I'm telling the truth. They swear. Okay? In Farsi we say qasam khurdan. Sweep means when you sweep, you clean the room, you use a broom to sweep. Swim is very clear. Everybody knows. Take, everybody knows. Teach, everybody knows. Tear is a tricky word. It has two different kinds of pronunciation. If you say tear with E, that's a noun. Like when you cry, the tear comes out of one's eyes. Okay? Tear. But as a verb, you don't say tear. You say tear. Okay? With A. Tear. So, tear means you take something, you tear it. Like, I have a piece of paper here. I tore it. I'm tearing it right now. Tear, tear, past tense. And then, tell, of course you know. Think, and throw, you throw a ball or something. Now, what is the past tense of strike? The past tense of strike is what? Struck. Remember, strike means what? Hit. Like boxers, they strike each other, they hit each other, they box each other. Swear. People go to court and swear. Swear is what? Okay, well, the past tense of strike is struck, and then the past participle is also struck. Swear, the past form is swore, sworn. Sweep, the past tense is swept. Completely different. And then the past participle form is what? Swept. Swim, the past tense is swam. The past participle form is swam. See, there is a difference in the spelling and slight difference in pronunciation. Swam, swum. A in U. Take, took, taken. Then teach, totally different. Taught. The past participle, taught. Tear, tore, torn. Tell, told, told. Think, thought, thought. Throw, threw, and thrown. Okay? Now, please repeat after me together. Strike, struck, struck. Number 2, swear, swore, sworn. Number 3, sweep, swept, swept. Number 4, swim, swum, swum. Number 5, take, took, taken. Number 6, teach, taught, taught. Number 7, tear, tore, torn. Number 8, tell, told, told. Number 9, think, thought, thought. Number 10, throw, threw, thrown. Now we are going to use them in context, in sentences. So again, I give you 5 of these words first, and then the other 5. So first, I will read the sentences. Think of the meaning first. Then think which form can we use. Remember, we have only studied 4 different tenses. In English, there are 12 tenses. We have only studied 4. The simple present, the present progressive, the simple past, and the past progressive, all those 4. So number 1, Zia, a very difficult test last month. What word can you use here? Number 2, the maid, the floor now. Maid is a person who cleans homes. That's called a maid. It's usually female. A female person, a woman who cleans homes is called a maid. Like hotel rooms, it's cleaned by a maid, a woman who cleans homes. Number 3, What time do the children every day? What's the word you could use over here? A fast-moving car. A pedestrian last night. A pedestrian is somebody who crosses the street or walks along the street. Hamid is that he is telling the truth. Now, let's see if you have found the right word for these sentences. Number one, Zia, a very difficult test last month. Zia, what do you do with a test? You take a test. But because it is last month, you say what? I took a test. Okay, in English, test is a noun. The verb for it is what? You take a test. A student take a test, a teacher gives the test or administers the test. But students take tests. So Zia is a student and he took a very difficult test last month. Number two, the maid the floor now. So what does a maid does? What does a maid do? A maid what? Sweeps the floor. But it's now, this moment. Because of now, you say what? A maid is sweeping the floor now. It's because of now that you have to use the word is sweeping. See, sweep, swept is sweeping. So we use sweep is the present form. Is sweeping is what? The present progressive form. What time do the children every day? The answer is, what time the children swim every day? Because every day you need to use what? Swim. And also, because it's children, not one child, you have to say swim, not swims. Number four, a fast-moving car struck a pedestrian last night. So, struck means what? Hit somebody who was walking on the street. Hamid is, that he's telling the truth, is doing what? Is swearing, okay? Hamid is swearing that he is telling the truth. You only need one is there. Hamid is swearing, means he's insisting that he's telling the truth. Let me read these sentences with correct completion. Zia took a very difficult test last month. The maid is sweeping the floor now. What time do the children swim every day? A fast-moving car struck a pedestrian last night. Hamid is swearing that he's telling the truth. 5 more words, and these words are teach, tear, tell, think, and throw. I, English on Noor TV for 7 years in the past. What do you do with English? Which word is correct? Umaid is a smart person. He always about his future. What do smart people do with their future? What's the word from this list that you could use? The children, their homework last week. What do people do with their homework? While Tim was looking for skis, he a diamond ring. Who is these snowballs? Tell them to stop it. Now, let's see if you have the right answers. I taught English on Noor TV for 7 years. There was another TV station called Noor many years ago. I worked there for 7 years and taught English lessons like this. Number 2, Umaid is a smart person. He always what? Thinks about his future. You cannot say thought because of always. Always is something that what? You repeat every day or every time. So it's something that you keep repeating. So it's usually happen in the present form. But you use S because Umaid is what? Third person singular. If you say think, you're wrong. If he's thinking, you're wrong. If you say thought, you're wrong. So there's only one correct answer, that he always thinks about his future. The children, their homework last week. The children what? Tore their homework last week. Bad idea. They wrote the homework and then they tore it. Number 4. While Tim was looking for his skis, he found a diamond ring. And I don't know why I put found there, but that's a correct answer. Who is these snowballs? Tell them to stop it. Who is what? Throwing these snowballs. Tell them to stop it. Now let me read these sentences with correct completion. I taught English on Noor TV for 7 years. Who made it a smart person? He always thinks about his future. The children tore their homework last week. While Tim was looking for his skis, he found a diamond ring. Who is throwing these snowballs? Tell them to stop it. Now, the next part is a paragraph about the person, his daily activity, and there are 7 mistakes, 7 problems, 7 errors. All the errors are what? It has to do with verb forms. And I want you to, we will read this together, and then I want you to think if you could find those 7 problems. Remember, this is a grammar lesson, so we have studied the rules of grammar for this. So I really want you to help me find those 7 errors, okay? Let me read this one with the way it is written. Of course, it's not correct form right now. We are going to fix it and read it correctly. Simin is waking up early in the morning every day. First, she takes a shower. Then, she's praying. After that, she's eating her breakfast, or she's eating breakfast. At 9 a.m., Simin left her home every day and goes to work. She works in a pharmacy and she's liking her job. Simin likes her job because the pharmacy is close to her home, her salary is good, and she enjoys helping people. Also, she feels important when she works and makes her own money. Now, apparently there are mistakes. What I want you to do is what? Find these mistakes and fix them. So let's read this sentence piece by piece, sentence by sentence, this paragraph, and see if you can find the error. Simin is waking up early in the morning every day. Now remember, always look at the time, the verb, and the subject. The time is what? Every day. Means what? You repeat the action. Not every day. The person is what? Third person singular, Simin. The time is what? Repetition every day. So can we say is waking up? No. That's where the problem is. The problem is waking up. Because waking up now, if something has happened, if Simin is waking up right now, you could say, oh, Simin is waking up right now. She's opening her eyes, she's waking up. But that's not the case. It happens every single day, early in the morning. So what is the right answer for that? We need to use what? Simple present tense. And that is what? You say, Simin wakes up early in the morning, every day. Because of every day, you must use wakes up. Period. So in English, you don't have much freedom here. You have to use the correct form. Because is waking up is now. But every day, wakes up. First, she takes a shower. Any problem there? First, she takes a shower. I don't think there's any problem because she takes. Because it's every day, you say what? She takes a shower. Next sentence. Then she praying. Means after that, you say she praying. That's where the problem is, right? So we need to say what? After that, she prays. So she takes a shower, then she prays. Okay, you cannot say praying. ING is not used here. And if you want to use ING, you have to say what? Is praying. She is praying. But that means what? Now. But we said this happens every single day. Because it happens every single day, we say what? Then she prays. After that, she is eating breakfast. Is that correct? Well, the grammar is correct, but it is not really, really correct. The problem is what? Is eating. Again, because it's every day, you cannot say he is eating, you have to say what? She eats breakfast. After that, she eats breakfast, or she eats her breakfast. At 9 a.m., Simin left her home every day and go to work. Can you say left, leave, left? We use left for what? For simple past tense. So we have to say what? At 9 a.m., the problem is with the verb again. She leaves her home every day and goes to work. Leaves and goes. She works in a pharmacy and she is liking her job. That part is correct, that she works in a pharmacy. But she is liking her job? No. Like never takes ing. If you like something, you just say I like. I like something every day, I like something now. Like does not take ing. She is liking is not correct. So you have to say what? She likes her job. Simin likes her job because the pharmacy is close to her house. Simin likes, correct, her job because the pharmacy is close. Close means what? Near his house or home. Her salary is good. The money that she makes every month is good. And she enjoys helping people. Is that correct? We said Simin wakes up. Simin prays. Simin leaves. Simin eats. Simin likes. Can you say Simin enjoy? No. It has to take what? That is. Also, the salary, you say what? Her salary is good, not salary good. So you have to put in is, the verb is missing. And then what? Enjoy, she enjoys helping people. Also, she feels important when she works and makes her own money. So now, I believe we found all the 7 mistakes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We found these 7 mistakes. Now the paragraph is correct. Now let's read the paragraph in the correct form. Let me read it. Let's read it together. Simin wakes up early in the morning every day. First, she takes a shower. Then she prays. After that, she eats breakfast. At 9 a.m., Simin leaves her home every day and goes to work. She works in a pharmacy and she likes her job. Simin likes her job because the pharmacy is close to her home. Her salary is good and she enjoys helping people. Also, she feels important when she works and makes her own money. Okay? So here, what we have is what? All those 7 mistakes are corrected and the verbs are in simple present tense because Simin does this thing every single day. For repeated action, we use the simple present form. Now, let's go to the next page. The next page, we have WH questions, and here, we studied this before. We're going to practice it tomorrow in a different way. The WH words are what, where, when, why, which, who, whom, whose, and how. And we said or talked about this last time, many times, that after these words, for most of them, if not for all of them, we use an auxiliary. Auxiliary is words like do, like does, like is, like will, like can, like did. These are auxiliary words. We need to use one of these words. Then the subject, then the verb, then the object. And then these were examples. Like for a person, in the subjective form, we use who. Like you say, who is he? He is my teacher. He is my brother. For a person, for the objective case, you use whom. Like, whom does she meet? She meets her classmate every day. For a thing, you use what? What? What is he eating? He's eating a sandwich. He's eating a banana. For time, you use when. When do you leave? For reason, you use why. Why are you sad? For means or method, you use how. How does he travel or how does she travel? For quantity, you use how many. How many pins do you need? Choice, you use which. Which pin do you want? For ownership, you use whose. Like, whose book is this? So you need to find out who does the book belong to. So here are some examples that shows the WH, the auxiliary, the subject, the verb, and the object. I will read them for you. This is not the first time you see them. You've seen this slide before. What does she study in school? Where are you working now? When do they go to Iran? Why is he studying now? Which pen does Ahmad want to use? Whom does Dr. Smith examine every day? Whose are or whose pens are you using now? How do they come to work? See, we have WH and then auxiliary words like does, are, do, is, does, are, do. These are auxiliary words. Then the subject, she, you, they, he, Ahmad, Dr. Smith, you, they. These are what? Words that are used in the place of subject. Then we have the verb, study, working, go, studying, want, examine, using, coming. And so these are your verbs and then the object. Now what we are going to do now is going to do this. This is an example for you first, and then I'm going to ask you to change them. So I give you a sentence, and then I have 2 to 3 to 4 WH words. And I want you to make a sentence or a question with those WH words. For example, John lives in Fremont, California. So I want you to make 2 questions. Where and who? Let's say you don't know where John lives. So you say what? Where does John live? And then when you say where does John live, where is what? Your WH word. Does is what? Your auxiliary. John is what? Your subject. And live is what? Your verb. So I want you to keep this in mind, that this is the rule. That's the formula for most WH question form. WH question, auxiliary, and then subject, and then verb, and whatever comes after it. Where does John live? If you say where John lives is not correct. You have to say where does John live. That's correct English. Now with who is the subjective case. This is one of those things that what? You don't use auxiliary. Just put it in the place of the subject. So you say what? I put where here. It should be who lives in Fremont. Who lives in Fremont? John lives in Fremont. So instead of where, you put who. I will fix that in a few minutes and show it to you. Tim met Ahmad in a park. Tim met Ahmad in a park. So who? Again, with who at the place of the subject, you do not use auxiliary. Just put who in the place of the subject. It changes to a question. You say what? Who met Ahmad in a park? With whom, you have to follow the auxiliary rule. WH, auxiliary, and then subject, and then verb. So you say what? Whom did Tim meet in the park? Let's fix this together, okay? So this one should be what? Who, that's what we call in English, we call it a typo, but we can fix it. John lives in Fremont, California. Where does John live? Who? So these are the parts of the sentence. And then, who lives in Fremont, California? WH, verb, and then what? Complement. See, in this case, we don't have auxiliary. Why? Because we make the question about the subject of the sentence. If you make the question about the subject of the sentence, you don't use auxiliary. If you make it for any other part, you have to use what? The auxiliary. And we also went over this. Tim met Ahmad in a park. The question about the subject, you put who in the place of Tim. Who met Tim in the park? If you make it a question about Ahmad, which is the object, then you say what? You say, whom did Tim meet in the park? You have to use it that way. Now, this is the example. Now, I want to give you some practice. You help me come up with the right answer. Okay, here is question number 3. Dr. Smith sees his patients in his clinic every day. So where, who, whom, when. So I want you to make 4 questions. Dr. Smith, the subject, sees the verb, his patients, the object, in his office, the place, every day is what? Time. So make a question about the place. I give you the word, where. So how do you make a question about where? What's your answer? Where what? The correct answer is, where does Dr. Smith see his patient? Why did we use does? Because the verb is what? Sees. The subject is what? Dr. Smith, third person singular. For third person singular in the present time, we use what? Does. Where does Dr. Smith live? Excuse me. Where does Dr. Smith see his patient? Who? Now this who is what? The subject. So with who, remember, what do? You put it in the place of the subject of the sentence. Who sees his patient in his clinic? Dr. Smith does. You don't use auxiliary. Whom is about what? The object. So how do you make the question with whom? Dr. Smith sees his patients in his clinic every day. Make a question with whom? The object. The object is what? His patients. That's the question. His patients. The answer is, I want to hear it from you. What is the right answer? Whom does Dr. Smith see every day? Again, he uses does. Why? Because the subject is Smith, one person, and the verb is see, simple present tense. When is about what? Time, every day. So the auxiliary should stay the same. So you say what? When does Dr. Smith see his patient? Or his patients. It should be all patients. I made an error over here. I have all patient. So let me read this sentence with the correct completions, correct questions. Dr. Smith sees his patients in his clinic every day. Where? Where does Dr. Smith see his patients? B. Who sees his patients in his clinic? C. Whom does Dr. Smith see every day? D. When does Dr. Smith see his patients? Now, question number 4. Farid fixed my car in his shop last Friday. Let's look at the pieces of this sentence. Farid is what? The subject. Then we have what? Fixed, which is the verb. But need to look at the verb. Is this present form or past form? Fixed, ed, it's past form. So that will help you with what? With the right auxiliary. And then what? My car, the object, in his shop, the place, last Friday, time. So we have 5 pieces. The subject, Farid, the verb fixed, the object, my car, in his shop, the place, and last Friday is what? The time. Now, make it questions with where to make the place a question. But remember that the verb is past. Which auxiliary do you use? The correct answer is, where did Farid fix my car? Where did Farid fix my car? He fixed it in his shop. Who? Again, the subject. So you do what? Put who in the place of Farid. Who fixed my car in his shop last Friday? Then what? What? The object. So for the object, you have to use what? The WH, auxiliary, subject, verb, object. So in this case, you say what? What did Farid fix in his shop on Friday? And finally, when did Farid fix my car? Now, why did we use did? Not because we liked it. It's because what? the verb is fixed, which is simple past tense. For simple past tense, we use what? Ed with the regular verb, and with irregular verb, we have different forms. So let me read this sentence with correct completions, or correct forms, or questions. Farid fixed my car in his shop last Friday. Where did Farid fix my car? Who? Who fixed my car in his shop last Friday? What? What did Farid fix in his shop on Friday? When? When did Farid fix my car? So these are the correct answers or questions for this sentence. One more sentence and then we'll move to a different activity. You can learn English on Iman TV on Saturday. Believe me, if you follow these lessons, I'm sure you will gain a lot. Okay? At the beginning, we had only a few lessons. Now, there are almost 18 lessons. So if you keep repeating this, and our engineer, John, he keep uploading these lessons on YouTube, so you could listen and watch as many times as you want, and this way you could practice. I'm sure, 100% sure, that you will learn more this way if you keep practicing. So you can learn English on Iman TV on Saturdays. So you make questions: who, what, where, and when. So who is what? So again, in this sentence we have several pieces. You, the subject, can learn the verb. English, the object. On Iman TV, the place. On Saturday, the time. So now you make it question with what? With who, the subject. Remember, you put who in the place of the subject, it becomes a question. So we say what? Who can learn English on Iman TV? Who can learn English on Iman TV? What? See, what is what? English. And that's the object. And that's why we have to use what? WH plus auxiliary and all of that. But we do have an auxiliary here. Can is an auxiliary. So you say what? Who can learn English on Iman TV? Sorry, what can you learn on Iman TV? What can you learn on Iman TV? You can learn English on Iman TV. What can you learn on Iman TV? Of course, on Iman TV you can learn a lot of things. But for this sentence, that you can learn English on Iman TV, and in this case, what can you learn on Iman TV? You can learn English on Iman TV. C. Where? Where can you learn English? On Iman TV is the answer. When? When can you learn English on Iman TV? Saturdays. But you don't have to wait for Saturdays. John has done a great job in putting these videos on YouTube. You can choose any day of the week to go to the YouTube or go to the Iman TV website and get these lessons and listen to them. You don't have to wait until Saturday. Now, please repeat these sentences after me together. Who can learn English on Iman TV? What can you learn on Iman TV? Where can you learn English? When can you learn English on Iman TV? So these were the correct answers for the sentence, you can learn English on Iman TV on Saturdays. Now we're going to move to the next segment. The next segment is basically a review. These were prepositions that we studied actually in lesson number 4, almost like 3 months ago, I believe 14 weeks ago. We are on week number 18, so 14 weeks ago. So you are expected to know the answers. So here is a globe. So what do you say for this globe? The globe is in the basket, on the basket, or under the basket. So this is the globe, this thing. And this is the basket. Where do you see it? It's inside. So we say what? The globe is in the basket. In the basket. So the answer is in. If something is surrounded, like I am in the studio right now, you are in your living room right now, okay? Or some people are in their car. If you're surrounded, then you are what? In a place. The book is on, in, under the bowl. Now, this is the book. This is the bowl. This is the green thing. This is the book. It says Teaching English as a Second Foreign Language. And this is the bowl. So, the book is what? On the bowl, in the bowl, under the bowl. The correct answer is under the bowl. This is the bowl, and this is the book, and it is touching it. See? If it is touching it, you say what? Under. Next one. The string is tied on the bottle, at the bottle, around the bottle. What we have is what? This is the bottle. The yellow thing you see is what? The string. That's called string in English. Now, the string is what? On the bottle, or at the bottle, or around the bottle. The string is not here to say on. The string is not by it, but it's all what? Around it. The correct answer is what? Around the bottle. The string is tied around the bottle. What about this one? The ball is below, under, in the plate. So this is the plate. This is the ball, the orange ball. So where is the ball in relation to the plate? Is it below the plate, under the plate, or in the plate? Of course it's not in because we don't see it's outside. So it is what? It is below. We cannot say under because in under it should touch it. But because it's not touching it, you say what? Below. The ball is below the plate. Now we go to the book in the basket. The book is on the basket, in the basket, under the basket. Where is the book in relation to the basket? The book is on the basket because it is touching it. What about this one? The ball is on the plate, above the plate, in the plate. So this is the ball, this is the plate. So is it touching it? If it is touching it, you use one word. If it's not touching it, you use another one. In this case, you cannot say on, you have to say what? Above. The ball is above the plate. So this is something we studied before. Look at this gentleman here. The man sits on his desk, at his desk, in his desk. Do you see him on the desk? No. Do you see him inside the desk? No. He's sitting by his desk. So the correct answer is what? The correct answer is at. Okay? The man sits at his desk. It's more idiomatic use of at in relation to desk. The pencil has gone in the paper, on the paper, through the paper. See, in is what? When it is surrounded inside something, like in a house, in a room. On is what? If it is touching the surface. In this case, it is what? Is gone through the paper. That's the correct answer. The pencil has gone through the paper. So these were, there's one more, is the bowl is around, between, at the two cups. So here is one cup, here is another cup, and here is a bowl. So the bowl is surrounded by two cups. We say what? Between. We say the bowl is between the two cups. So we come to the end of our lesson, but before we stop, I want you to remind you that what? You have a homework, and that homework is what? That you review and practice the spelling of these words. So I'm going to read these words again, pronounce them for you, and then you need to practice and practice and practice for next week. Please repeat after me together. Strike. Struck. Struck. So strike, struck, struck. Swear, swore, sworn. Sweep, swept, swept. Swim, swam, swum. One is with A, one is with U. Pronunciation slightly varies. Take, took, taken. Teach, taught, taught. Tear, tore, torn. Tell, told, told. Think, thought, thought. See, with think and thought, I've mentioned this many times to you, that when you see th at the beginning or middle or end of the word, you need to put the tip of your tongue between your front teeth and you pronounce it as th, not t. Like, so you say what? Think, thought, thought, that way. Don't say taught, okay? Thought, thought. Think, thought, thought. And then throw, the same thing. You put the tip of your tongue between your teeth and say throw, through, thrown. So, this is your homework. I expect you to read these words, practice these words, and for next week, you should be able to what? To spell them correctly. So far, you studied 18 lessons, and my expectation is that you have probably 100, 150 new verbs that you need to review. So I want you to review those and be prepared for next lesson. بیننده های بسیار محترم تلویزیون ایمان، درس امروز ما به همینجا به پایان رسید. تا هفته آینده شما را به خداوند عالم میسپارم. تشکر.